What is up, guys? It's your boy Rick Kakis, and today we have a brand new Xur Inventory review for the weekend of January 17th to the 20th, and so let's get started. Alright, let's take a look at what he has. Firstly, for those catalysts, well, we do have the Wardcliff Coil catalyst. The Wardcliff Coil randomly just melts certain bosses, so not a terrible pickup if you don't have it. And then the Lord of Wolves catalyst does definitely improve the Lord of Wolves. This thing dominated the Crucible for a while, then it got nerfed, now not so much. Both are kind of just like, alright. Then we have a 66 Wormhusk Crown with a massive intellect spike and then mobility. It's okay. Then we've got a 66 Crest of the Alpha Loopy with discipline, recovery, more mobility than resilience, however, it's not the best. Then we have a 65 Stag with a big discipline spike. It's okay. None of these are like, you know, these are not terrible, but they're not also like blowing my mind, like 70 stat, crazy, you have to get this. Then we do have the Stoicism, which means the exotic class items are available for sale. Then we have, in terms of the random item, Crucible Engrams. So if there is something that you're farming that's a Crucible weapon, you know, this is basically like playing a few Crucible matches. So you can just go and pick these up from Xur and then focus them at shacks. After that, in terms of the weaponry, well, we do have the Darcy here. Not a very good weapon at all. A heavy sniper rifle for some reason, even though it like doesn't do that much more damage than the special snipers. Bungie said they're going to buff it 1,000,000 times. Who knows? The Fighting Lion. So this actually got a buff just this season, and it will now cause volatile on detonation, which is actually quite good. If you haven't tried the Fighting Lion in a while, definitely try it out. Like, the explosions are a lot more violent because of that volatile. Then we have the Jade Rabbit. Randomly, you will get absolutely destroyed by this in the Crucible, and you'll be like, how did you get me from there? And that's about it. Then we have a Hawk Moon, unfortunately with snapshot sights, and then also extended barrel, which is, well, it does increase the range, but decreasing handling is not the best. Heavy grip. It's not the best. Yeah, you can do a lot better than snapshot sights. Now, as for the other weapons here, we have, we have a True Prophecy here with explosive, which is very interesting. But field prep is not really the best. And flared Megwell is not bad. True Prophecies with explosive have been a force at certain points in the Crucible. Like, people really like them because the range is outrageous. But again, you really don't want it with field prep. Then we do have, oh my goodness, well, actually an extraordinary rendition here. Aggressive frame 720 with One for All, which is a big damage increase, plus subsistence, getting your ammo back. Then you also have extended mag, which pairs, you know, quite well with subsistence. You actually get bigger chunks of your ammo back because subsistence works on a percentage of your overall magazine size. This is actually a pretty good roll. This is actually a really good roll. In fact, I would say that like back in the day, I was going for this roll as one of the god rolls for the extraordinary rendition as like a PvE weapon. So yeah, really, really solid pickup right here if you don't have a good kinetic like SMG. Now, after that, we do have the Palladius Corrector here. Multi-kill clip, Genesis. Multi-kill clip is totally good. Ricochet rounds is great for the stats and stuff, but Genesis is really not quite what you want. Then we've got the Outlast here with, kill clip is actually really good on any sort of rapid fire frame. And then you also have Encore, where you get stacking stability, range, and an accuracy bonus. This is pretty good. You got small bore for a big boost in the stats. You just maybe want a better per here. And other than that, like, actually not bad. Like, really decent Outlast. Then we have a Tireless Flash Counter, negative space, no thank you. Genesis Snapshot Sights, Tarantula, absolutely not. And then we have a Flash Counter, Surrounded Crown Splitter. And I think we got a pretty interesting armor set, the Midnight Exigent set. Let me go check the rarity on light.gg. Alright, so this set was originally added back in Season 3 with the Warmind expansion, and then re-added in Season 8 with Season of the Warmind, I believe, and it was never re-added since. It's only available through Xur. So not only is it honestly one of the coolest looking sets in the game, it is also one of the rarest sets Xur can sell, with only about 40% of people having this very helmet. Now, 40% is a little on the higher end these days. When it started out, when this first started started to be sold, it was in the really low, like 20 percentages. Every time it's being resold, more and more people buy it. But again, it is still one of the rarest sets Xur sells. The more common sets you'd see in the high 50s, even 60% these days. So definitely, guys, if you are in the fashion game, definitely pick up this set simply for transmog purposes. And Xur is the only place you can get this set. After that, guys, in terms of the actual stats here, 67 with resilience, strength, a little bit of mobility. Honestly, not a terrible stat line, but also just a little bit too much mobility. It's okay. It's all right. Then we've got 64, way too much mobility, not spiky at all. For the helmet, 64, resilience and discipline spike. That's actually really good spikes. I'd way rather not have the 10 mobility, but those are two very, very relevant spikes for your Titan. And then lastly, for the legs, we have a big recovery spike and then an intellect spike. Unfortunately, those are two spikes you don't really want as much as resilience and discipline, so not the greatest. All right, let's go check the Warlock. All right, for the Warlock, first of all, let's check the sword. Tireless Blade Surrounded is the best possible damage perk you can get on this sword. Tireless Blade, not so much. You'd rather have Relentless Strikes, and I actually think Relentless plus Surrounded, I think that was sold like last week. So Xur has been selling the God Roll of the Eternity's Edge very recently, so this is close, but it's not quite it. Now, as for the armor here, guys, 67, maybe too much mobility, not really spiky. Then we have 66, big strength spike, mobility, resilience, again, not super impressive. Then we have 65 here, resilience, recovery, discipline, and strength. Missing out on mobility and intellect is kind of exactly what you want. Honestly, not a bad roll here. And then 64 with recovery and strength being the main spikes, and it's kind of just okay. All right, let's check the Hunter. All right, for the Hunter, let's check the sword here. Tireless One For All, not actually a terrible, like One For All is the best damage perk you can get on the Quick Fang. So not a terrible roll, but not quite the God roll. Then for the armor here, so 62, not really too spiky, 62, not really too spiky, 66, a little bit better here, resilience, recovery, discipline being the main spike, not terrible. You'd like to see a little bit of mobility finally on the Hunter. All the other classes always have mobility, so not a terrible roll here. And then 64 mobility and strength. You don't really want to see strength, so not too interested. Basically, the highlights, I really don't think this is a bad extraordinary rendition. Apparently, most people went with Subsistence plus Frenzy instead of One For All, but One For All does give you a lot more damage. But Midnight Extension set, whenever this is being sold by Xur, it's kind of exciting. Again, the only place you can get it, and still a fairly rare set. Guys, that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.